Alright, today I'm going to be taking on the Curious version of Vicious gaan-telet, and I'm going to be doing it with a Gnome Sorcerer, not with, Troll or Heretic or anyone else I can go infinite with. This will actually legitimately be a completely fair run. It will also not be a successful run, that's why there's a question mark in the title, but I get really far, and considering that Curious Vicious gaan-telet is meant to be nigh unwinnable, I feel like, to some extent, it's like an old-style arcade game. It's not about winning, it's about getting as far as you can before you lose, and putting whatever your distance is on the high scoreboard. And I feel like my score this time is pretty high, so I thought it was worth making a video. The reason that I decided to take this on, despite not really expecting to win, was because basically I did just get that win in regular Vicious gaan-telet with Sorcerer. And I've seen before that Codex Sorcerer has a really good matchup with most of the new Extreme Edition monsters, which is why it had such an easy time in the Phantom Citadel. So because of that, I figured, hey, one of the big challenges of this Curious version is that it replaces most of the monsters in the tower with the standard monsters from this Extreme Edition expansion. And if I have a good matchup with those monsters, then that shouldn't be too bad. I'd prefer to have started Mystera. I really think cheaper fireballs is more useful than bigger mana bars, just because darkness is such a limiting factor here. But Horatio will do in a pinch. Looking around for a viable target, that level 2 Wraith inside the tower where the 4th floor stairs will be would be a great target since I have found a soul orb. It's in that shop just above the level 4 dragon spawn. I noticed it and then completely forgot about it, so it'll be a little while before I remember that it exists. But there are other decent targets. The soul orb is really important. This isn't my first try, but it's my first try where I found the soul orb. Well, my second try where I found the soul orb. My first ran into a bit of trouble with the rattling priests. We'll talk about that when I get there. But the soul orb is really important because it's pretty much my only answer to the beholders, since they have mana burn and riposte. Riposte? Maybe? Don't really know how it's pronounced. Anyhow, since they have mana burn and riposte, there's no way to not get mana burn fighting them. And for a Codex user, that's pretty bad. I can't fight without my mana. As a troll, I was able to get through that because, troll, I was using not a glitch, I'm not sure if exploit even is the right word, but I was using a shenanigan to have infinite darkness. And when you have infinite resources, you're allowed to do incredibly inefficient things to get through the harder obstacles. Here I don't have infinite resources, I have extremely finite resources. So because of that, I don't have the luxury of being able to do infinite things like that. That level 7 Wraith is a good target, and this is where I finally remember, oh yeah, there was a soul orb. So yeah, in order to deal with the beholders, I feel like I really do need soul orb. I didn't scum super aggressively for it. Like, I didn't scout the first 10 tiles around the entrance, and if there was no soul orb in them, I'd reset. But I would reset if I'd explored the entire courtyard without finding one, because there's just no point. Once we get to the beholder floor, the run's over. I desecrated Tiki-Tuki in order to get Piety. So part of the reason is I really wanted to get up to Petition with Horatio immediately so that I wouldn't take any corrosion. Because corrosion might not be the worst thing in the world for us, but it sticks around forever. And at the time I didn't have Soul Orb because I forgot it existed, and I really didn't want to get mana burned. The other reason for desecrating Tiki-Tuki is it will be nice to be able to attack weak monsters without killing them, because that way I'll be able to get rid of any stacks of frostbite I might get safely. This tower floor, one of the tower floors that scares me the most is the floor with the Naga Frost Blades. And for those, I really want to be able to attack weaker monsters, both to strip death protection by popping burning stacks, and to get rid of frostbite so that I don't build up 95 frostbite and just die. We got an easy first floor. The Fire Weavers we have a good matchup against. Beholders, fine. This is where I'm really happy to have that soul orb, and by really happy I mean I would just give up and cry without it. Like, soul orb is just... Obviously you don't need soul orb to win Vicious gaan-telet, not even Curious version, but this particular build really can't function without it. I'm converting over to Mystera because I really want to get that cheaper fireballs as soon as possible, because I am using up a lot of darkness. These beholders do have magical attacks, so this was maybe not the best time to convert to Mystera, but we had some indulgences from Tiki-Tuki, so we at least won't immediately be losing piety. Long Rant is here. I know not to touch it until we get to Spleen, so it's just going to be sitting there. One of the advantages to worshipping Jehorajaheyu first is you get a wait what glyph. I also found a wait what glyph on the ground, but at least now I have an emergency backup wait what glyph. Which might sound a bit silly, but I mean, it's potentially useful. Inventory management can be a bit of a pain in Vicious gaan-telet, so being able to convert my current wait what and then pick up another one later might end up being useful. And if nothing else, if I end up getting refreshment, then it'll be a mana potion, kind of. Clearing out this floor, we're not super scared of unstable, so it's not too bad. We've gotten 3 easy floors so far, which means that we're going to get a lot of hard floors higher up in the tower, which might not be so good for us. So these druidy folks spawn corrosive plants whenever they get hit. I did not prep burn salve because I forgot that they existed. I was just like, there's no golden statue in this version of the tower, so I should be fine, right? So I don't want to take tons and tons of corrosion, so instead I'm going to use wait what to gather them all around the stairs. And then I'll just, you know, never leave the staircase. I already converted the sensation stone, so that's safe. I've already explored the tower for its darkness. I got back my mana in the process, so it wasn't wasted. That was an unfortunate punch there. It brings the druidy folk down to exactly 1 HP, but doesn't pop the death protection. I should have mapped that out more carefully before I did it. Turns out there are some drawbacks to getting yourself super weakened by Tiki-Tuki. There is actually a downside, so I don't know, might have jumped the gun on that, but you need to have been weakened for a while before you get to the Frostblade floor, so I don't know. I just like being able to desecrate Tiki-Tuki. It seems really rude just because it's something most classes can't even dream of doing. I think Rat Monarch is the only one that is fine with desecrating Tiki-Tuki normally. Here I'm doing the math carefully in my head, and I'm realizing, okay, I'm dealing 1 damage with my attack, 10 with Mana Shield, and 20 with the Burning Stacks. That takes it down from 32 to exactly 1. So no punching is any good. Have to do a Fireball. Take Flames because I'm already doing no damage with my hits. May as well make my Fireballs heavier. So that should help a bit with this whole getting exactly the wrong amount of damage thing. So I was very careful with that last attack there. I knew that if I punched the druidy person I was attacking, I would pop the death protection but not kill it. So instead I fireballed the other one, which popped the death protection anyhow because of the burning stack, and then I was able to kill the first one. Again, not like, you know, the hugest play in the world, but every little helps. Now that I'm facing the Frostblades, I'm thinking I probably want that Plate Mail. It'll help a lot with being able to discharge Burning Stacks safely by attacking weak monsters. Technically I am down to 0 attack power, so you might be going, well, you know, that's something the devs said they wanted to get rid of, going down to 0 attack power to attack low-level enemies without hurting them. That's cheating. I mean, not cheating, but Avatar was talking about this a while back about, like, you know, different playstyles or whatever and what you consider fair game. But here I think it's fine because I'm not doing anything that I couldn't have done just as easily if my damage were 1 instead. And in particular, I'm a sorcerer. Even if my actual damage is 0, my mana shield still exists. So because of that, I'm really the one class in the game who can't ever go down to 0 attack power. I don't mind region fighting once we're in the popping death protection phase, but I need 3 fireballs to get him down there in the first place. I do mind region fighting in the sense that, oh god, we're already exploring the walls of the courtyard. This is not a good sign for our longevity. Even though these Frostblades have 5 death protections, I basically only need 1 more fireball to kill them than if they had none at all. Because the first fireball that gets them down to 0 pops a death protection, the mana shield from the retaliate pops a death protection, attacking another monster for the burning stack pops a death protection, then I throw the second fireball, and again the fireball takes 1, the mana shield takes 1, and now that they have no death protections, attacking another monster gets rid of the last death protection. Last death protection is already gone, attacking another weaker monster just kills it. So Frostblades are one of the scarier ones for us, but between the Mana Shield Fireball thing being good against them and our Plate Mail weakness letting us get rid of the Frostbite safely, they're really not so bad. We've come prepared to deal with them. But we've paid dearly for it. Like, this fight is basically the reason I desecrated Tiki-Tuki instead of Binlore, and that loss of attack power is going to really hurt down the line. In fact, it's already been hurting us in, say, the fight with the Druidy folk. Sorry, because Druidy folk don't appear in any, like, standard dungeons, I don't really remember their names super well. I remember it's 7 letters, starts with an S, Gaelic looking, but... Kill that dragon spawn for the level up, and because it's blocking the next staircase, so we would have to kill it soon anyhow. so it's definitely not a waste. I'd much rather get the level up in the middle of the floor rather than between floors, because look at this, I have to explore some tiles to find anyone on the next floor to kill. I suppose the Life Druidy folk are probably going to be more prominent in the Extreme West expansion, since I think they and the Rattling Priests are the ones that haven't really shown up elsewhere. Maybe these guys haven't shown up elsewhere. The only other places I've seen them are Grimm's Grotto, and the Druidy folk were in Magician Gold as well. Although they behave differently there, they spawn any type of plants, not just corrosive ones. I always mix the enemies on this floor up with the Cursebearer Frostbite enemies that are also recolored wraiths, but a different recolor. These are definitely the easier of the two. I shrank Plate Mail. That's probably a mistake. I should have shrunk Codex. We still haven't seen the Super Cursing enemies, and once the Super Cursing enemies come up, it's... depending on when they show up, it might be wishful thinking to expect me to ever get Plate Mail back. So, probably should have shrunk something else. And Codex, by the time we're converting Codex, we're not worried about inventory space anymore. I took Refreshment. Is that what it's called? The thing that gives you mana back for converting glyphs? I took Refreshment from Mystera because I was at about 50 piety when I came into this floor, and these jerks have Corrupting Aura. So, like, it was all going to go to waste if I didn't spend it immediately, and I hadn't converted any glyphs yet, I don't think. So, lots of glyphs around to use as refreshment fuel, and I'm using some here. Flash of Insight on the Binlore floor is just so bad. There's so much darkness and we're just losing it all. So speaking of Corrupting Aura, I'm taking Consensus here because I need to convert out of Mystera. And Jahora Jeheyu seems like a good option to convert to. The reason I have to convert out of Mystera is because these Rattling Priests, they have really high Corrupting Aura, so they will drain all of your piety. And they also have magical attack, which means that once they've drained all your piety, if you kill them while worshipping Mystera, you get punished. And that's how my only other attempt at this that got off the ground ended. I got carelessly punished against these guys, and I was just like, that really sucks. So, I think once you're on this floor, you're just not allowed to be worshipping Mystera. It's illegal. And that's why I've converted out. We're not going to have any piety with our old friend Jahora Jeheyu, but at least he'll never punish us. And once we're through this floor, he'll start gaining his piety passively. I couldn't say the same of, say, Earth Mother, who I can't really gain piety with at all, or Dracul, who would gain piety very slowly, and those are the two other gods that I'm really interested in. Checking all the floors because we're out of Courtyard piety. We're only on floor 7 of the tower, so being out of Courtyard darkness, not piety. It's only on floor 7 of the tower, so being out of darkness this early is not great. I'm using the Ritual Scroll because we're pretty good on health. That really hasn't been our limiting factor lately, and not just because of the Plate Mail. And on top of that, we do get max mana from the Ritual Scroll, which is potentially helpful. Unfortunately, 23 to 24 isn't really any sort of breakpoint for us. Without Mystic Balance, it's a 4 Fireball breakpoint, but we don't care about that. We don't cast 4 Fireballs in a row anyhow. killed off a couple weak monsters to get rid of the curses, because we don't have exploration space, so if I'm going to drink mana potions to get my mana back, health actually is an issue. Used a health potion there for barely any health. I probably should have just picked up some piety sparkles in the courtyard to reduce the effect of corrupting aura. That would have saved us as well. I'm going to convert the wall cruncher while I can still see it, because once this place starts getting flooded with the reposting golems, I'm not going to be able to see it anymore. And this is why I'm glad there was another Wait-What lying around, because this way I've got a Wait-What to help deal with the getting trapped in this level. I'm going to be trying to win this without what's the word I'm looking for? Without killing any of the reposting golems. We just don't have the resources for more kills than we strictly need. We don't have the resources for the kills we strictly need. You're basically teleporting around constantly here because your fireball triggers a teleport, your mana shield triggers a second teleport, and the burning stack triggers a third teleport. I'm running out of health resources. I'd kind of like to be able to go downstairs. This might be time to convert to Dracul. Seems like not the worst possible Schadenfreude potion. I swapped places with that reposting golem to get to the stairs. The stairs were not there. I misremembered where the entrance was. My recommendation, if you're doing this dungeon, is don't forget where the stairs are. Didn't need Dracul yet, but picked up the health potions from the ground. I probably should have been carrying them around already, but again, inventory space is really tight, and I've been burned before on picking up health potions too early, including on my previous successful run as a sorcerer in regular Vicious gaan-telet. And we're out of here. The dungeon is full of those reposters, and it'll stay full. I'm not touching those. The only floor left, unfortunately, is these jerks with Frostbite and Cursebearer. We're gonna get like probably 4 curses from each of them. I'm gonna try to maintain plate mail at first, but it's honestly a lost cause. And it's a mistake for me to keep it around instead of converting it much sooner than I do. I feel like I've noticed that in Curious Vicious gaan-telet, this sub-dungeon, the Johora Jeheyu Island, is a bit bigger than it is in regular Vicious gaan-telet. I feel like this one usually has a secondary island, which there's one in this version of it up north, and the regular Vicious gaan-telet doesn't have a secondary island. I don't know if that's like an actual intentional difference, or if it's just I've had bad luck on the size of this floor in regular Vicious gaan-telet and good luck in the Curious one. The one tower penalty that hasn't shown up is Ravaged by Forces Beyond Your Control, which applies Poison, Corrosion, Weakness, and Mana Burn. We're immune to Mana Burn, and we don't care about Weakness, and one stack of Corrosion isn't really that bad, so I'm not like super excited to have skipped it, but on the other hand, it's definitely not the worst thing I could have skipped. Like, the Poison and one stack of Corrosion aren't completely irrelevant, and a lot of the other tower penalties are completely irrelevant. All monsters have First Strike, we don't care. All monsters have Retaliate Fireball, we don't care. So because of that, I don't think I should have taken Lifesteal there. I don't think I get anywhere near enough value out of it to make up for the Piety penalty. Should have just held on to my Piety to get the third stack of Sanguine sooner. I've already killed off most of the weak monsters. And wait, I have 0 attack power. The damage I'm dealing with my basic attacks is from Mana Shield. I got nothing out of that Lifesteal. Okay, definitely a misplay. It's also dawning on me that we didn't find Biceps, we didn't find Piercing Wand, we didn't find Cursed Cutlass, we didn't find any answer to Horatio's Resists. Like, the only way we could possibly have stripped them was to, like, convert to Bin Lore and take his Stone Fist, is it called? The one where whenever you gain the Biceps effect whenever you break a wall. And that's super, super inefficient. And considering just how much we've spent in terms of resources already, this is about the point where I'm resigning myself to, okay, it's not just unlikely that I'm going to be able to pull off a win, this is just straight up a run that doesn't have a shot. But that's okay. Like I said, it's like trying to set a high score in an arcade game. I'm fine with not making it as long as I make it far. Really trying for that level up, but all that weakness we took from Tiggy Tuki is super, super punishing right now. Trying to punch monster to death with Mana Shield alone is pretty terrible. On the other hand, since we're relying entirely on our Mana Shield, at least the Plate Mail isn't actually hurting us. Because we couldn't effectively first strike anyhow, we only deal damage to them in retaliation when we do our physical attacks. So what I'm saying is my misplay of not converting Plate Mail sooner, and my misplay of taking a million weakness have cancelled each other out in some sense. Or at least the second one has masked the first one. I suppose even if I hadn't desecrated Tiki Tuki, the Rattling Priest would still have done a number on my attack tower. Alright. We've made it to the top floor. Just attack that zombie there to get rid of the frostbite. I'm at full health, and I'm remembering last time I wasted the health from this exploration, so I'm going to... kill a monster right now for no other reason than to create one extra blood pool. And since I recover all but 20 of my health instead of all of it, the blood pool's not even really worth much of anything. All I've really done there is pay for itself. So I'm going to use the Can of Whoopaz right now in order to get rid of the first phase of Horatio and summon Zaya. Again, I know I'm not going to be able to get through Horatio. I just want to get as far as I can. So right now in my mind, my objective is kill Zaya. But no offense, Zaya. I just mean your in-game character thing. Also, hi Zaya, if you're hearing this. I promise not to actually kill you. You know what I mean. Schadenfreude Potion is one of the best buys available. Agnostic's Collar is not. It costs more gold and gives less conversion value than the Viper Orb. So that was a mistake. I kind of thought I had more gold than I actually did. It always catches me off guard just how little gold you actually have in Vicious gaan-telet. So this is where you can tell I've truly given up on getting any further than Zaya, because I'm using the Long Rant here to corrode Zaya just to help me get through Zaya. Long Rant, you're really supposed to save for Spleen, but I've resigned myself. I'm not getting to Spleen this run, but I'm gonna take Zaya down with me. Oh right, Nom Nom exists. Completely forgot about that. Well, poison's not hurting me because there's no darkness left anyhow. It occurs to me that some of the enemies you encounter in the tower are naturally bloodless, so if you get the all enemies are bloodless tower penalty thingamajig on that floor, then you basically skipped a penalty. I'm not going anywhere with this, just a weird thought that came to mind. I was really happy when I first found the bin floor while re-exploring after starting the Zaya fight. I was rather dismayed to find that, I was excited to first find it because there were all these blood pools I'd completely forgotten existed. I just hadn't checked it since I'd taken Dracul. I was rather more dismayed to find that now they're all gone because I drank them. A long time ago, I took the... I don't even remember what it's called, Spirit Pact maybe? The one with Pact Maker that gives you extra conversion. Basically, my reasoning was, the others don't seem that relevant to me. I thought that hit would kill Zaya, because for some reason I thought he would be down at 19 health instead of like 40. Don't know why I thought that. I must have misread something, or I don't know. Anyhow, Zaya is dead. Horatio is back. I am completely out of resources, and I am skedaddling. I did 99% damage to a boss game. That particular you didn't win but you got close thing is always strange in levels with multiple bosses. So, not a Curious Vicious gaan-telet win. Not even close to a Curious Vicious gaan-telet win. We got very far, but it's not like, oh, things have gone slightly better, this might have worked. No, we were still miles away from the end. But getting to Horatio, getting through Zaya, I think is a really, really great outcome. So I'm very happy with how this run went. It's certainly far better than I ever expected to get in Curious Vicious gaan-telet without resorting to some exploitative shenanigans, you might say. So, completely legit run, not a win, but quite successful anyhow, I think.